I have spoken to some sources close to Tammy because I DM'd a lot of people and hoped that one would write back, and one did. And they are not aware of Matt Sakowski cheating on Tammy. So I do not believe it happened. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I noticed in a lot of the comments on things that I've been posting recently, there's been a lot of comments saying that he cheated, which I've been deleting because that is defamatory, because I have no proof that he did. And Tammy's acquaintances are also saying that he did not cheat on her. Okay, so let's just put that out in the open, that there was no cheating involved. Okay, so that's that bit said. But as for Tammy and Bailey, 100% this is a PR stunt. They wanted to be seen. They went to Rickshaws and Burleigh Pavilion on the Gold Coast, both places that are like celeb hotspots. They knew that they were going to be seen by going there. I think that it's very similar to when she broke up with Reese. So when Tammy years ago broke up with Reese Hawkins, she then got into a fling, I suppose, with Tiger, the singer who was with Kylie Jenner. And then she like followed him around Australia while he was touring and stuff. And it was just fun. It was like, it's a way to like get her confidence back. She would be feeling really, really crap about the divorce, no doubt. And this is her way of saying like, I am still Tammy Hembrow. I can still pull anyone I want. Bailey Smith, what's his name? Baslenka. I can't even remember his surname. I think it's Smith. He is probably known as like the most eligible bachelor in the AFL, I suppose. He is only 24, mind you. And yeah, he is an ambassador for Tinder. So Tinder are sort of, they're trying to like imply that they met on Tinder, but obviously they didn't meet on Tinder. I don't know how they would have met. Maybe just a slide into the DMs. I'm not really sure. But yes, as I said, Bailey is 24. He is the ex of Izzy Armitage, and Tammy is 31 with 3 kids. Like, their lives are completely different. Bailey also lives in Belbray, which is down the surf coast, so near Geelong, because he plays for Geelong AFL team. And Tammy lives on the Gold Coast. So this is never going to be a thing. It's never going to be a thing. She's also done long distance just recently at the start with Matt Sakowski, and I don't imagine she wants to do that again. But yeah, I think that she's just having fun, and she's proving to everybody. This is making probably worldwide news. I don't even know. It's definitely making national news. She is making it very clear that she is single, she is ready to mingle, and she is aiming for top tier. I think that that is what she's doing with this, and she definitely knows what she's doing. As for Matt Sakowski's reaction, I know that there's questions in here about it, but he did speak to the media and said, you know, it's disappointing. We've only been broken up for, I think he said 48 days or something. And then Isabella Laws, Tammy's bestie, she said that they broke up about 6 months ago. So that would be interesting, because that would be, February, I think it was. So Dramatic was saying that they predict the breakup was about January, February. So the Australian Open was in January. They were fighting at that and then potentially broke up not long after that. But they were together in April, like physically together. They were together in Melbourne. So Matt had already moved back to Melbourne, and Tammy came down for the NRL draft night, which they went to together. And then they were seen around Melbourne the next day. So they were definitely still trying to make something work, I suppose, at the end of April. So May, June, July, August. 3.5 months, I would say. And yeah, I don't know. 3.5 months isn't very long to have. It's not like she's moved on with someone. She's just dating somebody. But at the same time, what is she supposed to do? Just lay around being sad forever? Like, I think that it's totally fine that she's out there. It's just because, like he said in his podcast, most people, when they move on from someone, it's not public when they're going on their first dates and stuff, and you don't actually know about it. So this is a very different situation. He also said on his podcast that he broke up with Tammy. Well, no, he said he left Tammy. I suppose that's a bit different. He left Tammy, and it was basically for his mental health. And I do believe that. I believe it was like all of the constant scrutiny of their relationship. I think that definitely put a strain on the relationship. Every single little thing they said, every single little thing they did was heavily criticised. I can't even imagine what that would be like to live that way. And yeah, he did end up moving back to Melbourne. And then I think that it didn't get any better after that. And I suppose that was the end of it. But, you know, it's never one-sided when a relationship breaks up. So he might say, you know, he left Tammy, but I'm sure together they couldn't make it work, if that makes sense. And also people were criticizing the fact that he's speaking about it still in his podcast, but I sort of think obviously he's going to speak about it because he has a relationship podcast and that is a very big part of his life and it is a relationship. So I think that it makes sense that he would talk about it. And I think that he has spoken, he hasn't said anything bad about Tammy, which I think is a really good move. So I don't think it's not like he's getting on there and slamming her or anything. And then a few people have been saying, do you think that Matt and Anna's podcast is going to last? And I do think it's going to last. Like they've had this podcast for 4 years now. He's been with Tammy. I think he met her about less than 2 years ago. So yeah, I do think that their podcast is going to continue and is going to last, as people like to say. All right, let's see what other people are thinking about this situation. Oh, people are saying Izzy Armitage released an explosive podcast about Bailey. So yeah, I was really confused. I did see like news articles about this and stuff, but to me, this is all information she's said before. So I think that she's just like repackaged it into a new episode, essentially, just telling the same stories again. She has made it very clear that in 2021, when they split up, he had been cheating on her their whole relationship. As for the potentially defamatory claims, Outspoken mentioned, I think they'd listened to the podcast and they weren't going to repeat the claims because they're potentially defamatory. I don't know what possibly could be defamatory that isn't in the news already. So he got like a 2-game ban at one point for being photographed with illicit substances. So I imagine that was coke. He was very hostile towards the paparazzi that was following him on the Gold Coast after seeing Tammy. He has spoken poorly to a child on camera before. Like, he is not a nice guy, if you know what I mean. Like, he is known as a bad boy, and that is what Tammy likes. Tammy likes to go for the red flag bad boys, and that is exactly what Bailey is. Okay, what else are people saying? Oh, people are still talking about my eyebrows. Apparently they look really good on camera, so that's a good thing. This person saying Tammy has been friends with Bailey for years. He recuperated on the Gold Coast after his injury. I don't know if they have been friends for years. Like, he is only 24. Like, he was in school 6 years ago. So I don't know how many years they could have been friends for, but I mean, I think they both love to party, so they've probably crossed paths on the Gold Coast partying before. I'm just going to slot this question in here, otherwise I'll forget it. But someone's saying, I wonder what's going to happen with Kick when they both have 2 babies. So Steph Claire Smith had a baby recently. Laura Henshaw is going to be having a baby soon. And this person's wondering what's going to happen with the brand if they've both got new babies. I think it's going to be totally fine. So in Steph's relationship, Josh is the primary parent, I suppose. So she will be back at work full time, no doubt, by the time Laura goes off on leave, and Josh will be home with the baby. And as for Laura, she has expressed that her and Dalton, they both have their own businesses and their plan is very much to do things 50-50. I don't know at this point if she's got plans to have like a nanny or anything, but I think that both Laura and Steph, are still very focused on their brands and making sure that that all works for them and for their babies. So I think that's going to be totally fine. Sorry, I've got this phlegmy throat. Okay. More about Matt and Tammy. Why did he feel the need to imply that he broke up with her on his podcast most recently? I find that a bit spiteful. The way he said it, I don't think he even said it in like a spiteful way. He just sort of said it in a way like, I'm guessing people have been asking what's happened and he is just giving an answer. I don't know, like people, it's really hard because everyone's sort of really picking apart what he said and people are saying it's rehearsed and whatever. Of course it's rehearsed. Like, I think anybody in the world, if they are putting out a podcast talking about their breakup to the biggest influencer in Australia, they are going to rehearse that answer. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that he has said anything wrong on his podcast. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. This person's saying that Matt and Tammy gave it a really good go, let's face it. Well, yeah, they did. They could have ended it very early on when he first messaged somebody while drunk. I guess they don't classify that as cheating, but yeah, they could have ended it very early on, but they persisted and they put up with all the scrutiny and all the hate, and they really did keep trying. This person's saying that Matt Sakowski was seen with that other girl, Taylor Little, the news reporter. She probably didn't feel good about that. Well, yeah, it's interesting. I feel like Tammy is very reactive to things. And it was interesting because as soon as the pictures came out about Matt being next to that Taylor Little girl, they weren't even like touching or anything in any of the photos. As soon as those pictures came out, that's when Tammy decided to get on camera and announce that they are separating. And that's when she made it all public. So yeah, that was the boiling point, I guess. But they had obviously been broken up before that, but that was the point at which they made it public. Tammy is too old for this and too rich. Interestingly, I think that not necessarily the old thing, but the richer you are, the more normal this is. Like when you look at celebrities like, you know, the Kardashians and J-Lo and all that, they all get married a lot of times and they all have these big high profile relationships and big bust ups and things. And I think it's a rich person thing. I think that's exactly what it is. This person saying Tammy, no, I won't even read that because, yeah. I just don't think it's necessary to bring her children into this, if that makes sense. Like, I know that she does have children, yes, but I don't need to be commentating on her children, if that makes sense. Do you think this is the first person to have left Tammy, so she's more determined to rub dating in his face? No, I don't think so. Well, depends what you mean by the first person, because like I'm thinking Tiger, for example, I'm thinking he would have been the one that called it off with Tammy because it would have just been a fling all along. But as for like her proper relationships with like Reese, Matt Poole and Matt Sakowski, maybe it's very possible. All right. Okay, we've caught up on the questions with that one. So that's been 15 minutes. So great topic. Loved that one. Next question is thoughts on Ashy and Steve having rocky patches due to his drinking. Yeah, so they did a podcast interview together this week on her podcast called She Rises. And they spoke about how they didn't say the year, but I looked back at like my posts and stuff from that year and it was about 2020, I think it was, when they were rocky and thinking about breaking up. Even their therapist had said to Ashy, it's time, like you've got to leave him. And they've now come out and said that it's because Steve had a problem with alcohol. So yeah, like it got to a point, I think that she said the main problem was that he would lie about it. And then, yeah, it wasn't even necessarily the drinking itself. It was more the behavior and like the sneaking around and the lying about it. I think that's what they said. I did listen to it, but I just can't really remember. But yeah, a lot of people were shocked by this. They didn't realize that Ashy and Steve had a rocky patch years ago. But yeah, it definitely happened. I remember when it happened. That was sort of when I was starting the account, or maybe just after I'd started it. But yeah, there was this period where like, you know, they sold their house, they sold the gym or closed it down. They Baseline, I think that it used to be like an overseas thing and then it became a locally owned thing or something. I don't know. There were so many changes around 2020. And then there were I've posted before that there were rumors at the time that they were living separately. And yeah, it definitely happened. And they've now come out and admitted that that definitely happened. And now the relationship is better than ever, apparently. So that's really good. She also spoke about the fact that she's a lot more open sexually now. Like she loves talking about sex on her She Rises podcast. That was another question I was sent tonight. And she was saying it's more that like she always felt like this shame around sex and that it's a taboo topic and you shouldn't be overly sexual as a woman and stuff. And she said she's been like, just as she works on her personal development, she's feeling a lot more confident in herself and open sexually and stuff. So yeah, she spoke a lot about that. And they are currently in Europe. Ashy and Steve are currently in Europe. So they have gone there for 2 weeks. And of course it's controversial because they've gone without their children. I don't know. I did get a lot of messages about it, but influencers do it all the time. People do it all the time, I suppose. But I suppose I don't really know people who go to Europe because no one can really afford to anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with going overseas without your children, but I can't imagine doing it. Like, I have a daughter the same age as Ashy and Steve's daughter, Tala, so a 3-year-old, and I can't even imagine leaving her for 2 weeks. Like, I feel like she'd be so sad, but at the same time, I feel like Ashy and Steve's daughter probably has a really close relationship with the person that she's staying with, like maybe grandparents or a nanny or someone, whereas my children don't have that really close relationship with other people. So it really just depends on the family situation, and I don't think there's anything wrong. I also would be worried, like, what happens if the plane crashes or something and then the kids are left with no parents? But I mean, you can't live your life worrying about that sort of thing, honestly. And then further to that, there was also a lot of scrutiny about the fact they're in Switzerland and they're complaining about the price of all of the food. Firstly, I don't think they're complaining. I think that Ashley's just sharing the prices because it's interesting content. People are probably giving her a lot of feedback saying they're enjoying it. But she was saying that they went out for steak and it was $500 for 2 steaks, 2 sides, and a bottle of sparkling water. And that is just like normal prices in Switzerland for food. They also went to some like burger shop and it was maybe $150. So yeah, she was just saying that food is extremely expensive in Switzerland. She was also saying she went on like a day tour and I think it was $1,800 for them or something. And people are saying, you know, she's so tone deaf, but I just don't think that that's tone deaf. I think that she's obviously able to afford it, and she's not saying everybody should do this. Like, she's saying, I know that this is expensive. This is not a warning, but you know what I mean? This is like, heads up, this is how expensive it is in Switzerland. And then she's also been getting criticism because she went to Auschwitz in Poland. Is that right? Is that 2 separate things? I'm not sure, but she went to a concentration camp and she has been getting a lot of criticism for this because she said that she wasn't going to document anything just due to like the sensitive nature of it. And then she ended up sharing some photos and some video footage. Now, I'm probably going to get criticized for this now, but I think the way that Ashy shared it was quite sensitive. Definitely was not even quite sensitive. It was very sensitive. She was very aware that it was a sensitive situation. She did say to people, don't watch these next stories if you're going to be, upset by this sort of thing. But at the end of the day, Auschwitz Museum, it is a tourist attraction is the wrong word, but you know, like they do rely on tourists coming to the museum. They want to spread awareness. They want to educate people on the history. I don't think it's this big taboo secret that no one's allowed to share anything or talk about it. Like, they need people to come and learn about it. And I think that it's a good thing that she's spreading that sort of thing. It's like when people criticize influencers for not talking about wars and politics and things. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing that she's sharing about this, especially that she is sharing about it in a sensitive way. Like, she's very aware of the sensitive nature of it. There was, I listened to the Outspoken podcast and they were saying that it was a bit jarring that she then was like posting this sensitive stuff, and then in the next story she was posting herself like all dressed up, all glamorous, going out for dinner and things. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I get that is jarring, but also what she's supposed to do. Like, she's not claiming that war is her life. She's not, yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky topic. It's a tricky one. But yeah, I'm just going to read the comments on this one as well. Oh yeah, I want to come back to that. What's her name? Brooke Seppi. I want to come back to her. People are saying that Matt and Tammy have probably called the paparazzi on themselves this week. Probably true. People are talking about how Tammy also had a relationship with Jarkoy. I don't know if it was a relationship as such. I think that was also more of like a dating sort of thing. Is Tiana a therapist? She talks about how Tiana helps her. No, she's not, but she's like a life coach. So I suppose that it would help talking to her in that way. Who the hell wants to take their kids to Europe? That would cost an arm and a leg too much. Yeah, I agree. I did have a friend that took their kids to Europe, and they said that it just wasn't the greatest experience. It was way harder than they thought. And yeah, I think it would be so hard taking kids over there. Just being out of your comfort zone and like the culture shock and the cost. So yeah, I can see why they wouldn't want to take children for sure. Do I read Tattle? No, I don't. But a lot of the time, actually not at all anymore. Like people used to screenshot things a lot and send them to me from Tattle. But that hasn't happened since the Indy Clinton thing. I think that maybe Tattle has sort of stopped. I feel like people sometimes screenshot Reddit stuff now and send it to me. I feel like that's the new Tattle. But yeah, I don't hear or see anything about Tattle anymore. Apparently Ashy also went in a cart that was being pulled by horses. This person is saying that if Ashy didn't share about the Auschwitz Museum, people would say, why didn't you share to bring awareness? I totally agree with that. That's the point I was trying to make before, that she can't win either way. I feel like it's not just her, but it's all of the big influencers. I feel like no matter what they do, they get criticised. It would just be so hard living like that. I honestly think it would be. Leah Retsina says baby daddy Mitch seems problematic. I don't know about that. This person saying death camps needs to be talked about or it will be forgotten. Yes, I agree. We need education around the concentration camps. So we educate ourselves on history so that we don't repeat it. All right, Hay went there and he posted about it and there was no trouble with him doing it. Yes, exactly. This person saying that they went on a bus tour to a concentration camp straight to Oktoberfest. Hundreds of people did it. Yeah, well, true. I guess that's in relation to how Ashy Bines went and then went out for dinner afterwards, all dressed up. Yeah, all right. So I'm up to date with that. Oh, so I noticed another question that was sent in that was interesting was, are there any influencers that you used to follow now they've like lost their spark? And the ones I was thinking, were firstly Anna Paul. I feel like her, obviously, like since Michaela Testa exposed her and Addis for doing all those horrible things, I feel like Anna's content, obviously the fact no one talks about her anymore on my page anyway, but her content has changed a lot. So she used to really play this cutesy family sort of girl and really pitch her content to teenage girls, and that was her main following. And I feel like since all of that expose, she's really pivoted and now her content is aimed at men. She posts a lot more like sort of sexually sort of stuff. Sexually? Like skimpy clothes and sucking on lollipops and, you know, sort of stuff that's more for the male gaze, I suppose. So yeah, definitely her content. I used to follow her a lot and now I don't. And also, surprisingly, Molly May. So I used to absolutely love Molly May and I followed her every move. Like I'd watch all her stories, all of her YouTube vlogs and stuff. And since she broke up with Tommy, she's just lost something. I don't know, like maybe her spark or something. I then watched her documentary, which even though I watched every second of it and I watched it like really, really fast, I wanted to know everything. I just feel like there was nothing noteworthy in the documentary. Like there's nothing I think, oh yeah, I'm glad I watched that documentary because it had that in it. So it was just kind of boring. And then like, I don't even know what she's up to at the moment. Like I just find her quite boring now, which is really sad because she was always my favorite. But speaking of Molly May, Indy Clinton posted a TikTok tonight and then she's obviously edited it and re-uploaded it because I was sent in some screenshots from it and she was showing, like you could see her phone screen. So she's saying that she's got some big announcement coming soon and you could see her phone screen. And I think she's been DMing Molly May. That's what it looked like to me on the screenshots of the phone screen. But then now that I go look at the video, that part of the video has been edited out. So you heard it here first. I reckon that Bouf Haircare is going to be working with Molly May. I think that's going to be the next collab. Oh, yeah, and people here are saying that Molly May and Tommy Fury are back together. Were they ever split up? I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. I think the whole thing was a PR move, and I think that they did have like sort of a break where they were obviously living separately and he was working on himself. But I think that he knew that that was the case and like they were having a break and they weren't actually broken up. Yeah, that's my opinion on that one. Okay, next one. How do you find out info? Is it friends of influencers or assumptions based on photographic evidence? For example, people pregnant. DMs, that's how I find out most of the stuff. Like people like to message me stuff. And this week, interestingly, I noticed that an influencer messaged me something that was going on. And I was like, yes, like you get my account. Like you actually understand this. This is a good PR move for you to let me know something big that's happening in your life. And then I posted it. Like it was really interesting content. But yeah, I wish more influencers would message me that sort of stuff because I think, yeah, I'm an underutilized platform. They should be promoting themselves in ways. What else have we got? Did Tammy Hembrow get hair extensions? Her hair looks longer all of a sudden. I don't think she did, but yeah, I don't think she did. I think she definitely had clip-ins for her wedding, but I don't think she's really a hair extension girly very often. Why is Brittany Saunders keeping it off socials that one of her main staff left Fate? Claire posted she had finished off, but no goodbye from Brit. I would say that's just for the privacy of her employee. Like, I feel if I left my work and then they were posting about it on their socials, I would feel quite uncomfortable with that. I don't know. I think that that would be the answer to that question. Oh, okay. I might skip that one as well. Sorry, I'm just skipping another one that's about an influencer's children. What do you think about Tinder's partnership with Bailey right now? Feels misaligned with the pap shots with Tammy. Yes, I have addressed that. None of my friends talk about influencers or follow your account. Is there something wrong with me for being so interested in influencers' lives? No, there's something wrong with them, honestly. Like, that's what I think. If they're not following influencers, well, they're missing out. No, I think that it's just people like different things. It's like some people like Home and Away. Some people like the Kardashians. Some people like influencers. I don't watch TV shows. I watch influencers. They are my entertainment. That's all it is. It's just people have different interests. What is Indy bringing out with Big Ed? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that one. I know that she set him up with his own Instagram account, but then she ended up turning that into some other Instagram account. What did she turn that into? Maybe that became the Fit with Indy Instagram account. She has been saying that she's going to bring out her own app, but that's been a long time that she's been saying that. Maybe that's what her and Big Ed are working on, actually. Oh, Sarah Stay hasn't complained about Harlow's reflux in a couple of weeks. Do you think it was a genuine problem or just for clout? Absolutely, I think it was a genuine problem, and this stuff can get better as children get older and their digestive system gets better. I don't think she did it for clout. She definitely seemed genuine that he had reflux. Jane Lou not strapping her kids in with a seatbelt. Irresponsible parenting again. Honestly, I think that if influencers strapped their children into a car seat properly, I would be more shocked. It's just a thing. It's a thing with influencers. Maybe it's a thing with everybody, but it's just that we only see influencers filming their kids in the car. That's probably what it is. Pia Mielenbeck has been saying that she's going to open up about fertility struggles. Okay. I noticed Nikki Westcott, she also mentioned on her Happy Hour podcast this week that she went off the pill after she got married and she was working with a naturopath to like get all her hormone levels and everything all balanced and everything after coming off the pill. And she will update us all on that when there's something to update us about. And I thought, wonder if you're secretly saying you're pregnant, but not saying it yet. And then also people are suspecting maybe Lily Brown is pregnant because Davies posted a video from her daughter's first birthday, and in the video there's this quick little snippet of Lily Brown, and in the snippet she's holding her hands on her belly like a love heart, like that, and it just very much looks like a love heart, like, oh, I've got a baby in here. I'm pregnant. But she's honestly like so tiny, and it's not like she has a baby bump or anything. But then also she's been talking about she's been doing a 30-day no sugar protocol, like an eating plan. But then I suppose you could probably do that when you're pregnant, actually. That probably wouldn't be a bad thing. But yeah, watching this space on that one. What else have we got? Any updates on Angry Dad and Sharon? Well, yeah, Sharon has been writing. She replied to a comment this week saying that her and Mark are still together. I don't believe it personally, but that's what she's saying. People here are asking what happened to Anna Paul's skincare range. Well, it still exists, Paulie, it's called. And recently they did a competition where if you make a purchase, you can go in the draw to win a holiday to Greece, the Greek islands, something like that. And she said that it was open worldwide, but then in the terms and conditions, it said that it's only open to Australian residents. So then they changed the website to say only open to Australian residents. But I thought, what about people from overseas who had purchased in the meantime? I don't know. I just think that the whole competition seemed a bit scammy, how they didn't make that clear that it was only for Australian residents. And yeah, I guess in the end somebody won. But yeah, the brand does still exist. But yeah. Indy and Bouf Haircare. She's refusing to disclose what her role is within the business. I find myself not wanting to support a business who is constantly not transparent. I think honestly just don't worry about it, because I'd say that most of the brands we buy, like, we don't know the ownership. We don't know the ambassadors and the marketing people and what their relationship is to the brand. I just don't think it's something we need to worry about too much, really. But yeah, they did say that at first Indy was an ambassador, but now her role is not an ambassador. So I'm thinking that maybe she's like a shareholder or something, but they said that they're going to talk about that soon, I suppose. Wondering if anyone else is sick of opening social media and influencers constantly trying to make us buy stuff. Nothing seems genuine anymore. I get it's part of the job, but a lot of them also don't even say that they're ads. Well, yeah, a lot of people are sick of that, and that's why they subscribe to my account, because I don't do any ads, and that way you get to see all of the updates about influencers without having to watch all of their ads. But yeah, at the same time, they are providing us with free entertainment, so they've got to put ads in it. It's like how TV shows, they put ads in it to make it free. You know, it's just like anything in life that has ads. Oh yeah, Bridget Roccasano getting her baby baptized without the dad. So yeah, Bridget, she did get her baby Elle baptized in Rome this week, which was in one of the Pope's one of the Pope's churches or something, St. Paul's Cathedral, something like that. It was absolutely incredible. If you haven't seen the pictures, you need to go and see it. This is like royalty level. She got her baby baptized and there was this big party, and yes, the dad was not present because Bridget and the dad have broken up. But I was also a bit confused. Did all of those people fly to Rome for this baby's baptism? But no, apparently her brother is getting married in Rome, and that's why the family's all over there, and she decided to do the baptism while they were there as well. But yeah, pretty incredible. Please post another round of blind items. I totally need to do that. I really need to do that. That's where I post like the anonymous tip-offs and I blank out the name, but subscribers get the answers. If you are a subscriber and you haven't seen the old blind items, if you go to the highlights on my page, you can scroll across and then you'll find the blind items, and yeah, subscribers get the answers. Do you think Tammy still has some feelings for Reese and would get back with him? Absolutely not. I do not think that they would ever get back together. I just think that she wants to feel like she could have him back if she wanted. And I think that that's what all those stories were about the other day, and like wearing the jacket and things. Like she just wants to feel like he's close enough that she could have him if she wanted to. What are your thoughts on Rachel Finch's boot camp style training of her kids every day? I mean, it's not normal, that's for sure. It goes with this next question. Is anyone else concerned that Rachel Finch is setting her children up for disordered eating disorders and body image issues? The boot camp training before school at 5 a.m. and tennis 24/7. It's elite level, isn't it? Like, she's obviously, her and her husband are obviously training their children to be elite level athletes. This isn't just have a casual game of tennis, get up at 5 a.m. Like, they're going to be competitive, and hopefully they're going to win competitions and stuff. But that is just the life of children that grow up in sport, I suppose. Like, it's certainly not a life I grew up in, but I kind of think that it'd be nice to have parents that want to be that involved in your life and take you to all the sports and help you with your training and stuff. I think that there'd definitely be pros and cons to it. This one's saying that apparently M. Davies spends a lot of time away from her daughter. She's going on a holiday without her just days after her first birthday. A couple of months ago, she was crying, saying that she needs more time to herself, but is always going to the spa, sauna, trips away with her. She doesn't realise how lucky she is to have so much help. Yeah, I guess I haven't really followed her closely enough, but this is that same question about Ashy and Steve going away without their children. Like, M. Davies is going away without her child as well. But in this case, it sounds like the child is going to be staying home with her dad. So I don't see any reason why that would be a problem. But yeah, that's true. She probably does have a lot of help, and good on her if she does. Do you have the tea of Avalon's ex-boyfriend saying that she cheated on him with Adam Sullivan? She fell pregnant so quickly. That's it. That is the tea. So Avalon, her ex-boyfriend, has said that there was a 1-month overlap between her dating the ex-boyfriend and dating Adam. He was implying that she cheated on him for a month, but yeah, she is now pregnant with Adam, and she did get pregnant quickly, but it takes two to tango. Like, Adam obviously did what he needed to do. Like, they obviously weren't trying not to get pregnant, so it is what it is. Yeah, anyway, I've already covered that one. I've already covered that. Oh, sorry. I'll wrap up soon, but I better get to the questions on the screen. What does Indy's husband do for work? He works in finance, I suppose you would say. This person's saying they could never imagine Molly May working with Bouf Haircare. I feel like she's way bigger than that and already works with Beauty Works before for haircare. Yeah, I haven't seen her working with Beauty Works in a really long time. Oh, actually, what was the campaign she was doing on the documentary? Maybe that was Beauty Works. Don't know. Maybe it's for TBH skincare, but then is she involved with TBH? Don't know, but TBH did drop a video today saying, guess who our new collaboration's going to be with. So maybe it's with TBH rather than Bouf, and they're just confusing us. Did Tammy send you the photo of herself and that weirdo? No, that photo was off the Daily Mail. That's why it has Daily Mail written really big across it. I don't know if it was CCTV footage maybe, or maybe, because like, maybe the person at the table took the photo. I don't know. Have you listened to Indy Clinton's stellar interview about the PI, so the private investigator? Yes. So, yeah, I found it really interesting that she said she doesn't want to sue these people who are trolling her, like take legal action. She doesn't want to make their lives hard. She just wanted to, like, I guess, raise awareness for the situation and show them that they can be found out and explain to the world that you're not anonymous and you really shouldn't be trolling. And I think that she's definitely achieved that. I feel like trolling has died down a lot since this has all come out. This person's saying they've never, ever, ever placed their children into a car seat unstrapped. I could never do that to them. Risking their precious lives? No way. I feel like there's two sorts of people. There's people who are like obsessed with car seat safety, and I'm one of those people who had my children rear facing as long as possible. Like, how old was my, nearly 3. Anyway, I probably could have had her rear facing longer, but you know, that's a pretty long time. And then there's people who, don't even care about strapping their kids in. So, like, let's just hope that nothing happens. Tell us who's pregnant. I did drop some clues last week and the week before. Thoughts on Nikki and Lucy calling you cute in their podcast? Will you go to their show? Yes, I'm 100% going to go to their show. So on the 18th of December, they are coming to Melbourne for their live show. The tickets aren't on sale yet, but I will be buying them for sure. That'll be so fun. Although it depends on the venue. If the venue is really hard to get to, I won't be. But hopefully it will be fine. And yeah, I did see that they spoke about me on their podcast. They said me in my sausage dog pajamas, which I thought was funny. All the Peter Alexander pajamas have sausage dogs on them. And they said that they thought it was funny when I was talking about Davies getting criticised for her skimpy Hen's Day outfits. My opinion of it was haters gonna hate. And they said they thought that was funny. But yeah, loved the shout out. I mean, good marketing for my account. What else have we got? Anna Paul doesn't show anyone that she's with now. I feel sorry for her. Even Amaric isn't in the picture anymore. Yeah, I reckon her and Amaric broke up. This person saying a lot of people slam Emmy Lou Loves, but her skincare range is very good. I agree. I love her skincare range. There is is it like a hydrating serum? I don't know what it's called, but I use it every morning. And it's in a great big bottle. It's lasted forever. I really, really like that product. I think that is the best one in the range. Oh, someone wanted an update on the Bouf Haircare. So I've been using it for probably 2 or 3 months now, and I use like the serum. I've started only using it once a day because I find in the morning I don't want it to wet my hair. But I haven't compared to my before pictures, but I actually don't think there's any difference. I think this bit here of my hair, it naturally grows blonde. Even though my hair is brown, these bits grow through blonde. And so like I thought that there was like a little bit of growth there, but I just don't think there's anything really noticeable. But yeah, I'm going to continue to use it because I've got bottles there and stuff. But I don't know. I need to compare to the before videos, but it's nothing nothing life-changing. Like I can't even notice the difference. I don't know. But it does make my hair less oily, I think, because it's less foamy, like it doesn't strip my hair, so that is a plus. People are saying here they can't stand when influencers ask for recommendations so that they can nab a freebie. So much ick. Yes, that is one that comes up quite often, and it does really annoy people. Do you do this with no makeup? Yes, I do this with no makeup. My skincare routine, I'll have to talk about that another time. The wild deodorant ads were insane this week. Does anyone know if it's good or rubbish? Yeah, I actually got messaged about that so many influencers are posting about it. They must be getting paid so much because they're all taking on board this brand. I haven't used it. I will never use it because it's not an antiperspirant. It's just a deodorant, which is different. But some people message me saying that they actually really like it, but I'm not paying. I think it's like $25 a deodorant. I'm absolutely not paying that. It's just never happening. Oh, more people saying they want my skincare routine. So funny. Well, yes, one of the Emmy Lou Loves products is in there. What else have we got? I need a Peter Alexander PR deal. That would be amazing. Someone saying I have beautiful hair. Jeez, all the compliments tonight. Thanks, guys. This person saying they absolutely love Bouf Haircare. This person saying they tried Wild deodorant and didn't like it. But this person saying Wild is great. And that Yucca, which is like that app that tells you all the ingredients of things, they have said that it is a really good deodorant. All right, well, I've caught up on all of that. I did not get through all the questions, probably half of them. So I might just see what other ones are in there and post the answers to subs. And did I use the Bouf tonic? Yes, I have been using that. I was using it twice a day for the first bottle, and now I'm using it once a day. And Wild uses perfumes that are not low tox. There you go. There you have it. Oh, Martha and Michael and family are in Europe. I might have to have a look what they're up to. All right. So thanks everybody so much for joining tonight. Thanks for sending in your questions. And if I didn't answer your question, please send me a DM and we'll talk about it in there. And I will see you all next week. Okay. Thank you. Bye.